Hello friends, family and other creatures of the sea, and welcome to another high-level game of StarCraft 2. Today we have in the bottom left with the polar bear floating around the command center. It is CLem. And in the top right as our red Terran player, playing for Storm Gaming, it is Gumiho over here in the bottom right, opening up with double gas. But what are we lacking over here? That's a barracks that we're missing. If you figured it out, then good job. If you hadn't figured it out, then perhaps it's time to get a little bit more into StarCraft 2, because the barracks is the building you usually build first when you're a Terran player in the Terran versus Terran matchup. Honestly, in every single matchup. You get a depot into a barracks and then you get the gases. The barracks this time around is going to be on the other side of the map. And what is the point of this, one may ask? And I have absolutely no clue. Why would you proxy a single barracks on the other side of the map? I just don't know. I simply do not have the answers for you guys here. This feels like a fake proxy, kind of meant to force out a bunker, but the proxy actually is pretty committed here. Like, it's very far on the other side of the map, so what am I missing? I don't entirely get it, but I think we're gonna figure it out right about now. We have another Reaper coming in. This SCV is going to end up falling, so I guess Gumiho gets an SCV for this. He forced out a bunker as well out of his opponent. How useful is that going to be? Gumiho currently ahead in minerals as well as in gas and in SCV. So despite this being seemingly useless, I guess it kind of paid off. But here comes the real... What? Alright, what in the world is this? I was gonna say the real disadvantage comes in when you want to use the barracks. But he's using the barracks to scout. This is a 150 mineral scout. It is rather expensive. It's gonna go into Cyclone with the Mech Field accelerators as well. Okay. Yeah. No, this is a build. I am just not entirely sure what it is good against and what the point of the initial proxy was. I guess it allows you for a quicker scout, but it also kind of gives away that you're not building any Marines. So if I'm CLem here, okay, what am I thinking? I'm thinking, first of all, why did this idiot just move the camera at such high pace? Second of all, if I'm CLem, I'm thinking here, all right, there's a barracks floating. That means there's not going to be any Marines. I can get away with a very fast third base. You probably don't want to be building too many Marines yourself. You just want to make sure that you can die against anything from the factory and the starport. So what unit do you get? Indeed, you get a Cyclone, followed up by, most likely, a tank. Because a tank is going to provide safety, a lot of safety. I love the Banshee choice here as well. Now, why do I love the choice for a Banshee in this case? Very simple. It's because if this Banshee ever gets around across the map, there's not going to be any Marines at home. So if there are no factory or starport units at home, this is a completely unique build that I've never seen before. But let me finish my sentence. If there's no starport or factory units at home, that means that the Banshee will have free reign. And usually, the more expensive units, like factory units, you want to send across the map if you're playing such an aggressive build. And I think CLem is figuring that out. So it's gonna send the Banshee across the map, builds a tank at home. This is an extremely high-level adaptation here on the spot, and this is something I'm a huge fan of. I think often in StarCraft 2, a lot of it is standard build order versus standard build order, and not a lot of critical thought is going on. But here, CLem had to respond in the moment to a build that he's probably never seen before, or if he has seen it, he's seen it very rarely. Now, he scouts the double Cyclone that just popped as well. He probably knows it's double factory. I'm loving this triple CC. One of the things that people often do if they're under pressure is that they stop macroing up. They stop getting into that eco. They're like, hey, I'm afraid of something that's about to happen. But Clem's like, no, actually, I know what my opponent is capable of, and I know what he isn't capable of. And that is the most important thing here. I don't think that Gumiho can do anything about this third CC. I simply do not believe that to be possible. The mine here provides a lot of safety. I'm seeing the Raven now coming out, the second Raven that is coming out of this starport. The Banshee is across the map, and I would love for this Banshee to just go in, get a couple of worker kills, and just get going, honestly. This obviously is going to be a a mech follow-up here out of Gumiho with a third CC most likely on the low ground. Yeah, here we go. Nice stuff. He has complete map control, and that's why he can build that CC on the low ground. CLem has the CC on the high ground, but build it a lot faster, which will allow him for quicker muling, more SCV production, and in general, I think I prefer CLem's position here a little bit. Yes, he's gonna lose this Banshee, kills 4 workers, sees another tank, sees another Cyclone. So he knows what he's up against. He knows this is going to be mech. He just knows, he can feel it, he can smell it. CLem is not an idiot, and he absolutely figured it out at this point. The only problem that CLem has right at this moment is the problem of the Cyclones. Okay, the dance between the Cyclones and the tanks that are going to be sieging. Okay, high ground shot, high ground shot. Here we go. Boom, boom, boom. Tank is going to take out the Cyclone that was locked onto him, and this was honestly the hardest part for CLem, securing his third base, because there's a lot of risk involved with moving tanks forward against Cyclones, and CLem has done this absolutely masterfully. There is still maybe one opportunity to damage this orbital command, so you lock onto it and then you run away, you continue gaining vision with this barracks, but I think this party has ended right now for Gumiho. He has what we call a failed opener. He thought of something cool, he tried to execute it, but CLem with the picture-perfect response, basically along every step of the way, he just did this perfect. Absolutely perfect play. Tank is stuck in the main base, that's a little bit less perfect. Stim is about to finish up. I'm a fan of already, I think I already saw some Marauders mixed in here. Maybe he canceled it. Okay, 1 Marauder mixed in. I'd like to see more Marauders being mixed in as well. I think that is generally a good call if you're playing against mech. And I wouldn't even mind seeing Barracks 4 and 5 turn into Barracks with tech labs, rather than just Barracks with more reactors. Increasing your marine count against mech often isn't as useful as people want it to be, because they just die very fast against everything mech. Okay, here's CLem. Now, he needs to respond again. He's up in supply, massively up in supply, may I say, by the way. Yes, I may say that. He's massively up in supply, but there is some real threat here. There's 2 tanks that are sieged up on the far right side. There's not enough interference matrix to deal with all of those. And now Cyclones. Oh, there was no vision anymore of that high ground. If there was, I think these Cyclones would have continued locking onto that 1 tank. Would have been absolutely huge. Here comes another auto turret, and every single tank is going to get taken out. Vikings coming, though, in the back with a little bit of support. 5 SCVs have gone down. As a lock onto one of these turrets. Oh, CLem. Nice. Okay, air superiority currently in the hands of Gumiho. There's still 2 Ravens out, which isn't direct, like, it isn't a direct help to your air superiority, but it definitely is going to help later on with auto turrets, breaking tank lines, all of that good jazz. But I'm curious to see what CLem is going to do now. Is he going to say, hey, I want to go into Vikings, or do you just kind of ignore all the Vikings of your opponent and start pumping out medeffects? He already has 4 medeffects, so I think air superiority is something that isn't coming back anymore. Okay, we have 1 extra tech lab, so that's going to be 2 tech labs, 3 reactors. I like it. I like having Marauder production against this. I would have loved to seen a fort. Oh, we already have a fort base. Never mind. I love this. Yeah. I was going to say I would have loved to see a fort base during all of this, and CLem did just that. He does not miss a beat. It's every single one. The perfect Guitar Hero player. That is CLem. Also pretty darn decent here at Terran, of course. Now, fort base for Gumiho also on the way. Is building a lot of turret. Wants to be sure that his main base, his natural, his third, everything needs to be secure against drops. Ooh, look at this. That's not in range, is it? No, it's not. Vikings are almost flying through the watchtower. They're eyeing a drop here. They can smell that there's a drop nearby. They can absolutely smell it. They have very good sense of smell. Vikings are the beagles of the Terran units. Yeah, pretty useless, but a good nose. Bunch of tanks here. How many is that? 6, 5, 6. I was correct the first time. 6. That's not a lot of people know this, but 6 is actually the first perfect number, as it's equal to the sum of its dividers. 3, 2, and 1. Yeah, 3, 2, and 1 together. All of a sudden, you have 6, and that's a perfect number. Second perfect number, of course, 28. For the people that are unaware. Couple of Ravens still alive here. We're seeing double starport coming out of coming out of CLem with a bunch of Vikings, ship weapons level 1. We don't have ship weapons on the way for Gumiho. I understand that, but I also don't like it at the same time. You can understand something and still dislike it. Absolutely. I understand smelly cheese, for example. I don't like it. I also don't understand people that do like it. Well, I understand them. They just have bad taste. You see? I understand them. Still don't like them. Well, the people I'm fine with. People that like smelly cheese. I mean, you can have it. Have bad taste. Completely fine. Completely okay. I'm fine with that. No hard feelings. CLem also doesn't have any hard feelings here, I think. It's gonna take out that sensor tower. Ooh, that's a lot of Vikings. Oh, that's a lot less Vikings than before now, though. I think 2 went down. Liberator also fell. Infantry weapons level 2 finishing up. The funny thing here is that I believe that CLem, despite having a bio army, is getting set up for the late game a lot better here. I mean, he's getting the ship weapons, which is going to be deciding in TPT, right? Ship weapons is absolutely key in this matchup. We have more starports already for CLem. Yes, we've had consistent Viking production out of Gumiho on 1 starport, and that led to him having a pretty decent Viking count. But right now, CLem is ready to overtake with ship weapons level 1. I think that's actually going to be pretty significant here. There's vehicle plating out for Gumiho as well as vehicle weapons, but no ship weapons, and that's going to sting a little bit. That definitely is going to sting a little bit. We have Liberator range coming out as well. Nice. Second armory on the way here for CLem, getting his own vehicle plating and most likely wanting to go into ship weapons here. This is very risky, Gumiho. You're not actually winning in the air as much as you believe you are, and trading Viking for Viking when you're being outproduced is definitely not what you want. CLem actually backed down and lost more than he should have, I believe. Those were equal Viking numbers, and now it ain't equal no more. Oh, here come interference matrix. Just go on, not plural. Single interference matrix. CLem is going to clean 1 more tank up. No, he's not. That's a bad trade there for CLem. Was pretty close to max before that, and now he ain't. Gumiho threw down a couple of extra command centers. CLem had already done that earlier, just continuing to mine with 5 base. Orbital command after orbital command after orbital command. Not afraid of any type of Hellion harass. He's just sitting there making sure that he's fine. Thor's coming out right now here for Gumiho. Gumiho is so darn ready for this. It is insane. He's like, okay, you're going into Vikings. You're getting your lips out. I'm gonna get my Thors out. And Thors with either the Javelin missile or just with the 250mm. I think it's called. Is it actually called the Punisher cannon? I think it is. No, I don't think it. I can get the name of the cannon. I think it's called the Punisher cannon. It wouldn't surprise me. Huge cannon. Great against single targets. Absolutely fabulous against single targets. So the air war is not just a pure air war, because there's also ground support that matters. And the ground support in these fights is going to be superior for Gumiho, while the air army is superior here for CLem. CLem is focusing mainly on Vikings right now. He's expecting a clean air war, but this is not a clean air war at all. This is a dirty air war because there's ground support. Gumiho's just gonna start marching across the map. There's not enough tanks here for CLem, only 2 in total. 1 siege is up. Here comes the rest. Thor's dealing a lot of damage with those these big fat cannons, and CLem in a world of trouble right now. Does not have the defense ready, does not have the tanks. You need tanks in order to beat something like this, but they're not here. 8 Liberators popping in soon, though. Might be capable of breaking this position if they can siege on top of all of these Thors. If they can't siege on top of the Thors, they might be in trouble. I love that there's 1 Javelin missile bad boy here. Oh, never mind. He just undid that. In case the Vikings clump too much, just having 1 can really deal a lot of damage and help out so much in these type of situations. Tanks still marching on forward. CLem losing base after base after base. Lifting is not going to help, but staying on the ground is also practically impossible. Drilling claws on the way here for Gumiho. Smart servos coming in, which allows Vikings as well as Thors to quickly switch in between the modes. Oh, here come the lips, here come the lips. Oi, 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 oi. Liberator after Liberator sieges up, and every single tank is forced to unsiege. Vikings moving forward as well as the bio moves in right here. We get a land on these Vikings, and I think CLem is barely going to hold. Liberators can definitely help out here. That was 11 Liberators. Oh my god. That is so many. Now, CLem lost a significant portion, though, of his eco lead. Well, He lost all of his eco lead because he doesn't have a lead anymore, but still has a sizable army here. 5 Liberator siege up immediately. Thor is going to get absolutely shut out of the sky here. 1 Cyclone still alive for CLem with 4 kills. Bio flooding to the front lines right now. Despite there being no medevacs, having a couple of these bio units is not that bad if there's no tanks ready to go. This is pure orbital commands over here, except for this 1 planetary. 5th base is not morphed into anything and should die if CLem is in time. I think he's going to spot it and probably wants to jump on top of that. No, says CLem. I have bigger and better things to look at. And ooh, double Hellion arrest. This is the first Hellion arrest we're seeing. There's nothing ready to stop it. No Infernal Pre-Igniter. Instead, it's going to be Smart Servals Hellbat. We'll take out 6-7 workers here. CLem quick to the rescue of his SCVs. That was a lot of SCVs. If there were the Blue Flame, the Infernal Pre-Igniter, this could have ended way, way worse here for CLem. I think if you have +2 an Infernal Pre-Igniter, you're probably capable of 2-shotting SCVs, right? Surely you are. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you are. It would make no sense if you weren't. What do we have over here? 55 workers for CLem. Pretty much the reverse of what you'd expect in a mech versus bio game. Usually the bio player is the one with superior eco and a smaller army. But now it's going to be bio player with a bigger army if both players get the max out. And I do believe both players get the max out. Gumiho floating over towards the top left. Has a lot of orbitals, so can basically morph something here without a lot of risk. He won't carry a lot of risk at all, actually. I like that. I'm a huge fan of that. More Cyclones being constructed here, of course, with those mech field accelerators. You see the difference between a mech field accelerated Cyclone and a regular Cyclone, and it doesn't look all that good for the non-mech field accelerated ones. I wonder what gets mech field accelerated. Like, what is the mech field? And the accelerator just makes it shoot faster, I guess? The mech field might be like the cannon that they use. That sounds like a name for a gun. Like a Colt. A mech field. The 9mm mech field bullets. Like a punch. Never went shooting in my life. I did do archery the other week, which I thought was a very cool thing to do. Way more intense than I thought it would be. Freaking archery, man. I thought it was going to be a little bit lame, but absolutely not lame. One of the most fun activities, I think, that you can just do. You know, if you compare it to other activities similar to it, like bowling, then archery is simply superior. Simply superior. Although I don't think you can have a couple of drinks while doing archery. It requires focus, attention, sharp arrows and all that. What also requires focus and attention is StarCraft 2, and mining from this base also requires units to defend it. They weren't there, and 19 workers end up going down. Liberator count of 13, Viking count of 14. Here come the Cyclones moving forward right now, trying to get connections with these with these air units. This is an interesting stim forward. Don't forget that these bio units will end up running out pretty soon. Here come the Lips in position. Take out a couple of Thors again. CLem just jumping on top of this army again and again and again and again. And it is kind of inspiring to see. We now have a couple more medevacs on the way to give some more sustain to this bio army. But so far, yeah. I'm just not sure. Like, army supply-wise, it feels like that if CLem wins a single fight and gets to push through, he wins the game. But and Gumiho also is playing very aggressive. He's not playing the standard camping... The standard camping mech player, you know? It's like, oh, I want to defend my 5 bases. No, it's like, Gumiho is actually playing a very interesting style of mech here, where he has a very high worker count. He's focusing on honestly pretty mobile units right now. There's only 2 Thors, 1 tank. The rest is going to be Cyclone Hellbat or Cyclone Hellion. And CLem practically has a pure Liberator army. Now, I'm usually not a huge fan of TVT, but it really feels like this entire game has been completely action-packed. This CC is going to get taken out by basically the Liberator attack. There's a couple of bio units at home here. There's a lot in the air for Gumiho, but bio units against Cyclones are so solid. Especially if they don't run away. So 1-2 Cyclones go down there. Thor also gets blasted. CLem, of course, completely unaware of that top left side base. And that might actually ruin his life later on in this game. Infernal Pre-Igniter finally finishing up here. 21 minutes into the game for Gumiho. Gumiho still with a 3k, 1k bank. 3-3 upgrades. Not a single ship weapon upgrade. Still, to this day, no ship weapon upgrades. 32 Vikings lost. 14 on the map. No ship weapons. What do they say again? No ship weapons, no problems? Or more ship weapons, more problems. I don't know which one it is, but it's definitely one of the two. Thor's walking around like he owns the place, but he's gonna get liberated soon. He can celebrate his freedom in Terran heaven. Because there's a crap ton of liberators here. Not that many ground units to target. Oh, there comes a drop moving towards the right side. Looking to do what actually? Maybe defend his own mineral line. It's too late for that. Marines definitely aren't going to be the answer either against these Hellions. Marauder is nice. 3 more Marauders coming in right now. We have a massive Hellbat drop heading towards the right side, but why would he? Why would he head towards the right side? I feel like there's no more workers there anyway, so why would you go there? It makes no sense. And I think Gumiho just decided the same thing. He's like, well, actually, I don't really care all that much. Oh, this is an interesting fight here. Starts pretty okay for Gumiho, but now ends up losing all of his Vikings to the splash of the Liberator. Live sieging on top of this Thor. Tank gets taken out. Viking count superior still for CLem. 123 supply against 145. And what is the production? We're only at 5 factories. There's actually almost no gas either here for Gumiho. Gumiho's had a lot of minerals, but is lacking the gas as CLem now pushing in. A scenario that we have seen once, but pretty much in reverse. Now it's CLem pushing forward, wanting to go for the win. Cyclones at home are going to, well, try to take something out. The depot is down for whatever reason here, by the way. Not so sure why that is, but it is what is happening. And this is pretty much what happens if you don't build any tanks, I guess. You just don't have a backbone in your army, and once you lose you're pretty much dead. So both players suffering from the same fate, just lacking tanks and pretty much dying. And CLem eventually managed to come back, but Gumiho, I'm not so sure if he can come back. CLem is mining more right now. There's still a massive bank for Gumiho. Just a huge bank, the biggest. The absolute biggest bank possible for Gumiho. Now, there are a lot of units out right now. I'll give him that. Do we have enough air unit production? We have 2 starports against the 4 of CLem. Liberator's really been annoying him. And now we finally have ship weapons on the way. It's a little bit late, I feel like, at least. Here comes some... Oh, I thought it was a Hellion run by. These are not Hellions. They're SCVs. Well, that's weird. Not okay. Hell is trying to push this bio back with no medevacs, might be capable of doing, but I think CLem is so far ahead right now, and orbital count is at 4. That is actually not as high as I thought it was going to be. I'll admit to that. When I started my sentence with orbital count, and then I saw it was only 4, I was like, well, that's a lot less than I thought it was going to be. Liberator here at the top left with 13 kills. This bad boy got 9 kills as well, so lots of kills all around the map. As I think CLem is heading for a victory right now. Hellions coming in with that run by, finally. Getting some damage done. I'd love for them to just move away. All of these bases are still orbitals, and that allows for this type of harassment. Liberator with 6 kills. Hellions trying to make their way across the map. Don't forget that Gumiho still has really nice vehicle weapon upgrades. And CLem... Well, CLem has no vehicle weapon upgrade. So if we're getting into these tank battles, that is not going to end very well for CLem. This is a planetary, but it's a planetary that just doesn't do that much. Does it still require 3 shots with these Hellions to kill SCVs? I think it does, actually. Oh, Vikings landed. Level 1 ship weapons. Ooh, putting in the work here. SCVs being pulled from the line as well. Planetary survives, at least for now. And with tanks out, I guess you can at least stabilize if you're Gumiho here. Problem is, of course, these libs. How are you going to beat those liberators? And that is an issue that I'm not sure about how to fix that here for Gumiho. Tank count for CLem is at 2. It's not a whole lot. Single Thor should be capable of taking out these liberators, actually, if he moves properly. Yeah. Just want to snipe the lip. It's the only thing that matters here, because the Liberator is the only thing that can break this tank line. Here come Hellions with a run by, going to take out a lot of these SCVs. Don't forget, CLem has gas, but no minerals. The reverse situation of Gumiho, big fight. Oh, almost missed that. Well, actually did miss the majority of that. as CLem is going to completely destroy this army, but won't be capable of moving up the ramp here, and is losing a lot of SCVs behind this. This planetary is still going as well. Gas is being taken. Was this a mistake out of CLem? These Hellbats should be moving towards the left side right now, particularly this base. There's a lot of SCVs there that should go down right about now. 44 workers to 41. No gas income though for Gumiho. Needs to quickly get into those refineries. The Hellions once. Oh my god, they're dealing so much damage. Actually crazy damage. That is legit crazy damage. 32, 33 against 40. This planetary is going to be very important right now. And I think it's a planetary that can be held. Orbital Command stays alive. These SCVs are dying. This CC is actually bleeding out, huh? Oh no! Not in range! I actually think that Gumiho should have stayed there for a couple more seconds. Take out every single SCV. Alas, he didn't. Planetary is gonna get blasted here. Liberators take out every single SCV. And now the question is, can pure Hellbats beat this army? And I think the answer is no. There's going to be 21 Hellions out on the map. Look at this. This is... Oh, actually... Well, actually... So the plan here is, if we just think about it, you clear all your opponent's workers, you kill the ground army, and then you secretly mine from one of these bases. This is the last orbital, by the way. This is it. This is it. If he loses this, he's not mining no more. No, there's one more. Sorry, I lied. I lied with my... No, wait, it's not I spied. I lied. I lied. I'm sorry for that. Viking count is 1 versus 7. There's 10 Liberators out. Hellions are going ham still. Here we go. Start taking out some of these bioforces. CLem is absolutely microing this well, but is it good enough? He can just sit back and do nothing technically, can't he? He can defend at this point, and I think CLem figured it out. We have 26 cars here in the late game. But there's 14 Marauders, there's 2 tanks, there's 9 Liberators, there's no anti-air. There's no anti-air. CLem needs to understand that he can sit back and do nothing. If he understands that he wins the game, he can also just win this fight. I guess that would... Oh! Big shots actually coming out of Gumiho here, but... Yeah, I think he's gonna get called. Liberators a little bit too much. A very odd game of StarCraft 2, honestly. A very odd game of StarCraft 2. In which we find CLem with a win here in the end. Interesting stuff. That is going to be it for me today. Thanks all so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy this game. If you did, don't forget to like button, subscribe to the channel. And I'll see all of you next time for a game that most likely won't be a TVT. Because honestly, there's not that many great TVTs. But this was absolutely fabulous. So yeah, thanks for watching. Smash like and bye-bye.